Heurelho da Silva Gomes, born February 15, 1981, commonly known as Heurelho Gomes or just Gomes, is a Brazilian goalkeeper, who is currently playing for Watford. He previously made a name for himself at Dutch club PSV, and also spent 6 years at Tottenham Hotspur. Club career: Cruzeiro. Gomes started his career in his native country Brazil at Cruzeiro, where he played 59 games between 2001 and 2004. Here, he was scouted by Attribution and in July 2004, he was sold to PSV. PSV Eindhoven. He made his debut for the Eindhoven club against Serbian side Crvena Zvezda on August 11 of that year. At first, there were critics, saying that Brazilians should be on the field, not in the goal. In other words, there were doubts if Gomes was reliable enough. Those doubts were quickly erased. Even though he conceded 2 goals in his debut against RBC, which PSV won 5-2, he proved himself to be a reliable goalkeeper. He played a major part in PSV's 4 latest consecutive titles in the Eredivisie and in the Great European Achievements. In his first season, PSV immediately reached the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League, where in the 14 attempts before, PSV wasn't able to reach the second round. In the following seasons, PSV progressed each time from the group stage. In the Eredivisie, Gomes was known for his outstanding reflexes, which saved points for PSV more than once. Also, his trademark throwing ability is well known. Gomes is able to throw the ball all the way deep into the opponent's half. Also, before the start of the match and second half, Gomes jumps up above the goal with his shoulders, pumping up the PSV supporters. Before his transfer to Tottenham, Gomes was a crowd favourite at PSV. He can speak Portuguese and Spanish, and while in the Netherlands, he picked up a fair amount of Dutch, although it has to be said he is not fluent in the language. Even though the rivalry between PSV, Feyenoord and Ajax is intense, fans from rival clubs showed sympathy for the Brazilian. Notable was an incident in Rotterdam in the match against Feyenoord, when Gomes injured himself whilst celebrating a goal, scored by his teammate Philip Cocu. However, he managed to continue and even managed to pull off a wonder save, keeping his side in the game, which they went on to draw. Tottenham Hotspur. Following appointment of manager Juan Ramos, Gomes signed for Tottenham Hotspur on June 27, 2008 for a fee was believed to be around £7.8 a million. Gomes played his first game in Tottenham Hotspur colours in a pre-season friendly match on July 19, 2008 against Segunda Divisão Denby side Dar copyright Nia, which Tottenham won €4-2. Gomes eventually obtained a work permit to play in the United Kingdom, despite playing less than the 75% required amount of games for Brazil in the last 2 years. Gomes made his home debut on 10 August 2008, keeping a clean sheet with a 5-0 victory over Roma on Tottenham's last pre-season friendly, before the English Premiership campaign 2008-09. Tottenham lost their 2 opening games 2-1 to Middlesbrough and Sunderland respectively, but his presence in goal helped Spurs earn their first point of the season with a draw against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. However, his reputation took a hit a week later when he let in a weak shot from Ashley Young in Spurs' 2-1 home defeat against Aston Villa. These blunders continued as he conceded an own goal against Fulham on November 15, 2008, which kept his club mired deep in the relegation zone and also caused Tottenham Hotspur goalkeeping coach Hans Later to be sacked on November 19, 2008, with the appointment of former Spurs goalkeeper Tony Parks made shortly after. He went on to put in a strong performance against West Ham United, saving 2 shots deep into the match in which Tottenham won 2-0, before making 2 important saves to deny Park Ji-sung and Ryan Giggs in a 0-0 draw with Manchester United. Gomes was injured in Spurs' 5-1 win over Hull in the second game of the 2009-10 Premier League season and had to be replaced by second-choice keeper Carlo Cudicini. After an MRI scan, it was revealed that Gomes suffered damage to his groin which would keep him out for up to a month. Gomes made his return to first-team action in the 5-1 victory over Preston in the League Cup on September 23, 2009, and made his Premier League comeback in the 2-1 win at Portsmouth on October 17. During this match the Brazilian made a handful of brilliant saves, one of which was compared by former Spurs keeper Pat Jennings to a famous save made by Gordon Banks against Brazil in the 1970 World Cup. On 3 April 2010, he made 2 penalty saves out of 3 against in a 3-1 defeat away at Sunderland. On 14 April 2010, Gomes' fine form aided Spurs in picking up their first league victory over Arsenal in 21 meetings. He saved a Robin van Persie free kick and several other attempts on goal in succession. The following week, on April 17, 2010, Gomes again made several crucial saves as Tottenham beat Chelsea 2-1 as the team passed Manchester City to become 4th in the standings. He kept a clean sheet in a 1-0 win over Bolton and then he played a vital role in the 1-0 victory against Manchester City with 2 crucial saves which saw Tottenham get into the Champions League for the first time ever. On October 20, 2010, Gomes received a red card for fouling Jonathan Bibiani within the first 10 minutes of the first half against European champions Inter Milan at the San Siro in the Champions League. Tottenham Hotspur lost the match 4-3, after going 4-0 down inside the first 35 minutes, despite a second-half hat-trick from Gareth Bale. Gomes' goalkeeping ability was called into question in the 13th April 2011 in the second-leg tie against Real Madrid after a long shot from Cristiano Ronaldo slipped out of Gomes' hands over his head and into the goal to put Real Madrid 5-0 up on aggregate. Gomes took blame for another controversial goal against Chelsea on 30 April after a shot from Frank Lampard slipped between his legs and although Gomes scrambled back and appeared to clear the ball, the goal was given. Spurs went on to lose the game 2-1. After several high-profile errors and misjudgment by Gomes, Tottenham signed 40-year-old keeper Brad Friedel on a free transfer from Aston Villa to provide competition in the first team. Friedel began the season as the starter with Gomes being relegated to the bench and later being left out of matchday squads entirely, which led to immediate speculation regarding his future at the club. Gomes played his first match of the 2011 Euro-12 season in a League Cup defeat to Stoke City 6-7 in a penalty shootout after Masai Moluongo missed the penalty. Subsequently, Gomes played in the Europa League, keeping a clean sheet in the 1-0 victory over Rubin Kazan. Following Spurs' deadline day capture of Hugo Lloris, Gomes slipped to 4th-choice goalkeeper at Spurs, but following the sale of Kudasini to Los Angeles Galaxy, he became 3rd choice behind Lloris and Friedel. Loaned to 1899 Hoffenheim, on the final day of the January 2013 transfer window, Gomes agreed to join the German team 1899 Hoffenheim on loan until the end of the season. On February 2, Gomes made his debut as Hoffenheim won 2-1 against Freiburg. After the match, manager Marco Kurz praised Gomes. Gomes has shown a very solid performance. Although he has only trained once with us, his aura was strong. As throughout the match, Gomes made 4 crucial saves and looked assured in claiming 6 crosses, commanding his penalty area. By his 3rd match for Hoffenheim, he was already captaining the team, but his season ended prematurely when, on April 6, 2013, he broke his metacarpus during an important 3-0 home win over Fortuna Darmstadt Düsseldorf. He had to undergo hand surgery. Returned to Tottenham after loan period. After his injury, Gomes returned to Tottenham and started the season 2013 Euro-14 with Spurs. However, Gomes's role became 3rd-choice goalkeeper, as the backup for 42-year-old American Brad Friedel and the club's first-choice Hugo Lloris. On May 22, 2014, Tottenham announced that Gomes would leave the club the following month when his contract expires. Watford, Gomes signed a 1-year deal, with an option of a second, at Championship side Watford on May 24, 2014. International career. Gomes made his debut for Brazil in 2003 CONCACAF Gold Cup. Although the competition is for senior national teams, Brazil chose to send an under-23 squad to the competition. Gomes made 5 appearances as Brazil went to the final and finished second after being beaten by Mexico 1-0. despite being part of the Brazilian squad that won the 2005 FIFA Confederations Cup as the third-choice keeper behind Dida and Marcos, Gomes did not receive any playing time. He was also excluded from then-coach Carlos Alberto Pereira's final 23-man roster for the 2006 FIFA World Cup in Germany. It wasn't until his inclusion in the team for a series of late summer friendlies, as a consequence of new Brazil coach Dunga's desire to play many of the Celia Picavolta Poundo's younger stars, that Gomes has finally gained some consistent playing time in goal. On August 14, 2006, he was called up for a friendly against Norway, which ended in a 1-1 draw. On September 3, 2006, he played in Brazil's 3-0 win over rivals Argentina at Emirates Stadium in England. 2 days later, Gomes kept a second consecutive clean sheet in a 2-0 victory over Wales at White Hart Lane. His latest stint between the sticks was during a 2-1 win over Ecuador on October 10, 2006. On May 11, 2010, it was announced that Gomes would be part of the Brazilian squad which would compete at the World Cup in South Africa. Gomes made a rare appearance for Brazil in a World Cup warm-up game, replacing Brazil's number 1 keeper January Leo Car copyright ZA as a substitute. Honours: Cruzeiro, Campeonato Brasileiro ZA copyright RIA, 2003, Copa do Brasil, 2003, Campeonato Mineiro, 2002, 2003, PSV, Eredivisie, 2004 Euro 05, 2005 Euro 06, 2006 Euro 07, 2007 Euro 08, KNVB Cup, 2004 Euro 05, International, FIFA Confederations Cup, 2005, 2009, CONCACAF Gold Cup, Silver 2003, Lunar New Year Cup, 2005, References. External links: Heurelho Gomes at TottenhamHotspur.com, Heurelho Gomes career stats at Soccerbase, Heurelho Gomes at ESPN FC.